our good friends at Angel Studios. I love Angel Studios. Amazing new film this Holy Week. Phenomenal. In fact,
as I think about Charlie's life and how much of a support he was of Angel, it's hard not to feel so grateful for what he did. He supported us in our darkest days and in our brightest hours as a company. Man, are we grateful to have gotten to be a little connection in the multitude of connections that he made throughout his life, because it was so impactful to us. Thank you, Charlie. Love you. We miss you. We're going to continue to drive forward the good news.
So we got this Tennessee race. You are a Tennessee local there. I don't know if I don't know if this race, Tennessee 7, is your district, Sean. Is that your actual district?
It is, yeah.
Okay. What do you make of the outcome here? Trump won it by a margin of 22. We had Van Epps win it by +9. A lot of people are taking that one of two ways. What is the big takeaway that the base needs to hear right now, Sean Davis?
So the word that I keep hearing from people around here about that race is relief. It was a close race until about 2 weeks ago. I think it was within the margin of error. Then there was a big national push to expose this Looney Tunes woman, Afton Bain, is a total left-wing communist kook who hated the city, hate the people who live here, hate the state. And that was a top-down effort from Trump all the way down. On the Monday before the election, there was a massive get-out-the-vote rally with every statewide elected Republican in Tennessee. And I think that last-minute charge, that last-minute push to define her and get out the vote really made a difference. So in looking at the race, I don't think it was a massive victory, nor do I think it was a doomsday warning. I think it is a sign that the Republicans have a lot that they still need to do between now and November. You'll hear some people say that this is an R+10 district. I think that's what the Cook Political or Partisan Voter Index says. That I don't care. That's not it. This is a +20 R district. Mark Green won the same district by 22 in 22. Trump won it by 22. That should be what people are winning by as Republicans here. So a 9-point victory is a sign that we have a lot of work to do. It's not a sign of triumphalism. Yay, we won. We have nothing to worry about. Nor is it a sign of doomerism that we're screwed. We've got another 11 months to the election, and Republicans have to get to work putting together a message and an agenda that proves that they're acting on the things that people want them to do.
Yeah, I mean, Blake, feel free to chime in here. I think that a couple things happened. We are proving that we are absolutely abysmal at off-year elections. We just are. And we could try and identify what the source of that terrible performance is, whether it's we're a low-prop party, whether it's our GOTV is not what it needs to be, which is a fact. It's not even debatable at this point. Now, Turning Point Action, we have a massive get-out-the-vote program called Chase the Vote. We do that in specific areas. We're not active with paid staff or any huge effort in Tennessee. We simply have to choose our battles there, and we have to deploy resources in a prudent way, and that is not where we're active. But there is local GOP, there are RNC groups on the ground, as you said, they got activated late. But here's the other thing that I will say. The second piece of this, and, Bannon called me up.
We lost Andrew. All right, Sean. But no, we're just talking about the Tennessee thing. What Sean? You tell us. What do you think the biggest driver of why we frankly are struggling in some of these off-year, lower prop elections compared to? I feel when I was a young adult, the GOP was seen as stronger in some of those off elections.
Yeah, I think the main reason is that outside of Trump, the Republican Party is kind of having an identity crisis. People love Trump. Kind of low prop voters who aren't traditionally identified with either party, they like Trump. He has energy, he has a vision, he has an agenda. Everyone understands what Donald Trump believes, whether they love him or hate him. Everyone knows what he believes. I don't know if you can say that about the Republican Party apart from Trump, and it's the Republican Party apart from Trump that is always on the ballot in off-year elections. Yes, Trump is there. He's able to get out the vote. He's able to do rallies. But his name not being on the ballot makes a big difference. And so I think the GOP is really having an identity crisis that's driven by a lot of the old establishment, people who've been in office for 20 or 30 years, still wanting to take the party back to 2002 or 2003, the heady days of the Iraq War and GOP corporatism. And they don't really like this new MAGA Trump. They can't really come out and say that. They can't say that they don't like the MAGA agenda. So they kind of just have to sit back and quietly stifle it while pretending they're doing good things. And what you end up with there is a party that just looks completely sclerotic and kind of neutered. And that's a hard party to get people to jazzed up to vote for in an off year. So that's my take.
Yeah, I think we have Andrew
All right, I'm back.
now. Yeah, there
Yeah.
we do. But Andrew, I was thinking an aspect of this is also it is that there's an old guard that really does wish to rewind before Trump. But I think it's also the case Trump himself does have this special gravity around him. He does make the entire world obsessed with him. Everything in American politics has revolved around him since 2015. He has not been shy about redefining the Republican Party around his personal brand, his personal identity, and that has upsides. He really does whip people up the way no one else can. But we see the downside, which is without him, there is that void of enthusiasm.
Well, yeah, and I completely agree with that, Blake. And sorry for the tech troubles here. You never know when you're on the road. But yeah, I think there's doubt that we are at a nadir in the enthusiasm levels. The summer, a lot of the infighting, there's just no doubt, right? And again, we have this issue with off-cycle elections. Now, President Trump has pivoted. The administration has pivoted. You're starting to hear a lot more about the affordability crisis. You're starting to hear a lot more about plans and creative ideas to address housing. And most importantly is what I would say, that, yeah, he has a gravitational pull. He defines all of politics, not just Republican politics, but left and right in this country. But you saw this third world immigration moratorium take effect. And if you talk to pollsters like Rich Barris, he and I were communicating on this, there was a jump massively, we talked about on the show, on enthusiasm for the base Republican voters. And so when he's polling the third world immigration moratorium, which is a core component, a core plank of the MAGA movement, of the populist right movement, is to get our immigration house in order, you saw a jump immediately in the enthusiasm for voters. Rich's contention, and this was my prediction, was that this race would have been even closer had President Trump not come out with that moratorium following the ambush assassination and nearly two of the National Guardsmen in just blocks away from the White House. Had he not come out with something bold and unapologetic, we would have seen an even closer race. You have to give voters something to get enthusiastic about. When you have a low propensity party like we do, and obviously it's a mix, but there is now more low props in our movement than there were before Donald Trump. There's just no doubt. When you have a low prop party, you have to increase enthusiasm. You have to increase attention. And that's ultimately, to Sean's point, in the last final run-up to this, we finally got on the ball. National Republican apparatus got engaged. We started messaging on it. And then you had this moratorium. Boom, 9 points. Is it still too close? Yes, absolutely. Is it still a warning? Yes. Is it triumphalism? No, absolutely not. But at least we saw an 8-9 point victory in what we were seeing could have been within the margin of error before that. So I think what we need to do is we need to make sure we're giving voters what they want. That's ultimately what the lesson is here. And
can I say something on that immigration point there?
Yeah.
I think it's important to tackle immigration not just as a standalone issue, because it's part of a much broader sense that we're losing our country. We can't afford to buy homes. We can't find jobs. Stuff doesn't work anymore. So it's not just, we don't like immigrants, they need to go home. That's not the case. It's that people feel the sense that they can't do things in their country that they believe they should be allowed to, that the American dream is just being whittled away and eroded away. And immigration is a big part of that. When people think they can't get ahead, even when they follow the rules, that they'll never be able to buy a house, that they'll never pay down their college debt, that they'll never get a good job, that they'll never be able to raise their family on one income. That is where the immigration thing plays in. And so I think it's really important for Republicans to put that in the context of rebuilding the American dream and restoring the American dream for Americans.
Yeah, Sean, that's such a good point. But we're 20 seconds to break here. But when people equate the immigration desires of the base, of MAGA base, and they equate it with xenophobia or bigotry or racism, it couldn't be further from the truth. And we really need to keep hammering that home.